Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a while, but I just played a game that I absolutely had to upload a replay for. Now, I'm pretty fucking butthurt right now because I just did this video and I spent like an hour and a half going through everything, only to not check my progress the entire time, do it in one cut, and realize my voice sounded like shit the entire time. The audio is unbelievably bad. So now I have to redo it. So we're going to kind of do this a bit more sped up. Now, background, I'm smurfing on my Smurf account, just having fun. Now, when I smurf, I always give the people the games. I'm just doing it for fun. I'm not trying to be a dick. This guy really fought to the bitter end, tooth and nail. I truly believe any opponent would have given up, but not this guy. He fears nothing, and he learned nothing. Give it up for DaveTesta StarCraft. Caster, up and coming. He's casting his first ESL Open tomorrow, which is huge news. Congratulations to him. Now, we had a great game. We had a lot of fun. Afterwards, I jumped into his Twitch channel. We got to know each other a bit, and he said he was struggling a bit. So I told him, even though this was a total meme game, I go over it and try and give him a few points. Now, his execution in this game was shit. It was terrible. But the idea was there. We're going to kind of speed run through it, and I'm just going to point out a few places where you could have done better. So, without further ado, let's just jump right into this. First off, you're a caster now, Dave. Learn how to work a split. The fuck is this? Amateur hour? Jesus. So I'm going to keep it on your point of view, and I'm going to speed this up, and I'm going to pause it every time there's a crucial point, okay? So right off the bat, you see that I don't have a hatch. You put the pylon down so you can go up and scout just to make sure you get the hatch block. I get it. Now, this is my Jedi mind tricks. It works on, honest to God, even like mid-masters protoss players. They just sit there and go, oh, I blew up the hatch because the drone was there. Even if I'm 12 bulling, I'll put the drone there on time. Just so you sit there and just, yeah, blocked it. Meanwhile, my pool is like 90% done. So I opened up pool first. I did not try this game. I'm smurfing, I'm memeing, I'm having fun. That's all I was trying to do. And yeah, you mentioned you were from New York, so I took the time to go find my New York hat, my New York jersey. Just, I'm going to walk you through how you're supposed to play the fucking game here, Dave. So, you aren't really sure what's going on. And you made double gateway. So my plan's already worked. I'm economically a bit behind because I opened up pool first, but it's safe. And whenever I'm smurfing, I just like to make sure that the game's going to go on. I don't like getting cannon rushed or anything. I'd like to just be able to shut it down. Not even counter aggression. Honestly, just shut it down so the game can keep going. I want to drag this out as long as I can because it's fun. If you see, like, all you have to do is look at the timing. You know this isn't 12 pool. Like, this is pool first. You block the hatch, so yeah, I had to take my third. But just looking at the pool timing, if you wanted to play safe, you could have just gone gate cyber nexus. The double gate definitely puts you a little bit behind, but you know, you're a little scared. I get that. For the record, normal 17 hatch goes down at like 57, 58 seconds. 16 hatch, which is more common, goes down at like 53, 54 seconds. Any hatchery that's down like 50 seconds or earlier, that's a 15 hatch, you're getting all in. 100%. It's a link flood. So, I forced 2 gateways out of you. Any other Protoss would be thinking, well, fuck me, I got bamboozled. I'm going to punish him. So I would be sending the Zealot and the Adept right across the map immediately. But not you. Dave, you fear nothing. You just sat there and you opened up straight Robo. Now, I went really into detail in the last video, but I'm going to break this down for you. There's 2 main openers in PvZ. Twilight and Stargate. Now, with Twilight, you are getting a Robo. But notice how I said Twilight. You don't open up straight fucking Robo. If I was trying and I saw this, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drop a couple extra gases, immediate layer, and I'm going to go to mutas, and I'm going to punish you. So, in this game, you went for DTs. I'm not sure if you were trying to do a DT drop, if you're trying to do Archon drop, if you, I don't know. But always, if you're gonna play Twilight in PvZ, Twilight, Robo, Dark Shrine, or Templar Archive, whatever you're going to go for, if you're going to go Archon drop. But in that order, Twilight, Robo, DT Shrine. You went Robo, Twilight's late, meaning your DT Shrine's going to be late, meaning this entire build is going to be late. The reason you get this, again, so we can get the actual tech that we want out, the only reason we're getting the Robo, realistically, is to get the Warp Prism. So you shot yourself in the foot here, man. You were already behind, and then you made it worse. So yeah. Your DT Shrine's super late. So you do get a couple worker kills with this Adept. And you scout something. You get some decent information. First off, you know I'm droning. Okay, so there's really no big threat coming your way. There's no red flags. You also see I'm taking a second gas. Why? Because if we look at my vision, I know that you're going Twilight, which means there's no Stargate. So it can only be a handful of things. It's going to be Glaives, DTs, Archon drops, something. So what am I going to do? I'm going to get 3 gases, go up to 41 drones, and keep making roaches until I hold whatever you throw at me. This is what I'm going to do. And you now know that. So you should have no red flags. This is a normal game. Now, I hate this. Your third's late, but it's also early. If you're playing a normal macro game, you really want to throw down your third around 4:30, which is the beauty of Void Rays in PvZ. It allows you to take that third on time safely. Your build's not done yet. You're floating a decent amount, like, well, you were. And your build's late. Your build's all sorts of fucked up. So, I mean, I don't hate the fact you took a third, but when you open up with DTs like the way you're going, you need 4 gates. At this time, your warp prism should be out and it should be starting to move across the map. Your TT shrine should already be done, and you should be getting ready to warp in with your 4 warp gates. Except, what do you have? You have 2, and you're just about to produce 1 more. Like, everything's late. This whole build order is wrong. It's just incorrect, inefficient, but doesn't matter for Dave the man, because he fears nothing. Like, you have no fear of mutas. And not only that, look at this. You're going into charge, not even blink. Like, you get blink as a backup because if you open up Robo, there's a damn good chance the Zerg is just going to go mutas. But Dave don't care. Dave knows. Now, this is, I really laid into you for this one. You see the creep. So obviously I know this is coming. So if I were you, what would I do? I'd back up right now. I'd put this prism right here, get a 1 big warp in round. Then I'd move those units in here to attack. And while I'm doing that, simultaneously, I'm moving the prism into the main so I can attack multi-prong. Seems simple enough, right? What do you do, Dave? Tell me or show me. You dive right into the main, and obviously I saw this fucking coming. I don't understand what your game plan was here. And look, I just move up with some roaches like, nah, son, out you go. I'm even already moving overseers. I mean, I've got the spore collar there. I've got detection, man. So you just run out. You're like, cool, I accomplished nothing, and I lost some units. Great success, no? Moving on. You go right into disruptors. I don't hate it, right? You've already got Robotech. Might as well keep going for it. But you just do not fear mutas. Like, at this point, I would love to see a Stargate. I'm not talking going into carriers or anything like that yet. I'm just saying, like, just to show that you have a Stargate so that I can't easily go mutas. Also, oracles. Huge. Oracles. Like, I can't underestimate how overpowered Revelation is. Even stasis traps, man. Like, so, I mean, your 4th is a decent time. Like, everything's looking solid. The problem is, whenever you play against a Zerg, doesn't matter what race you're playing, Terran, Zerg, Protoss, everyone has the same goal in mind when you're playing against a Zerg. You have to damage their economy. Ideally, ruin it, but you have to do some economic damage in the first few minutes of the game. Otherwise, you're just kind of fucked, right? Like, you just are. If you let a Zerg run away with the game, you're up shit creek without a paddle, man. You've done nothing to me. You've killed 2 drones, and you've got no map vision. It is now 8:30. You have no clue what I'm going for. Obviously, it's Lurker Tech. You probably could have guessed that. It's a pretty common tech to go into. But you don't know that? Dave, you don't know that. But you fear nothing. You just do not care. You're just doing you. You are finally getting Blink, which I do like, because, again, if I cared, I would go Stalkers. I'm pretty much just exclusively watching this from your point of view. So again, your idea was great. Your execution was terrible. And I'm going to start to speed this up so I can go over the same 2 reoccurring things that got you into the position that you were in and forced you back against the ropes for the entirety of the match from that point on. Now, first off, I just want to say, sorry, I just have to close these. Okay. I do respect the fact that you keep the prism not only far back, close enough that you can reinforce, but it's also off creep, out of vision. It's safe. I love that. Why? Because I've got a couple Ravagers. I'm figuring at this point, because you're still playing straight Robo, that there's gotta be force fields. Something's gotta be fucking coming. That's why I'm on a low drone count. Like, this is just abnormal. No one plays Robo in PvZ passively. Robo means aggression. It might not mean all in, but it means aggression because of the threat of mutas alone. So to see you play passive Robo threw me off, man. You definitely bamboozled me, but Dave fears nothing. So you're fighting. Look at my creep so far out, man. Like, and this isn't me bragging. Like, I'm just saying, like, you're not even clearing the creep. Like, you're not going to get a good engagement on this. You got nothing with the disruptors. One thing I noticed throughout this entire game, when you have 6, 8, 10 disruptors, you can throw out multiple balls at once. That's fine. But when you have 2 or 3, you got to stagger them, man. Because if you throw 2 and you whiff, like, for the next 14 seconds, you are fucked. It's like swarm hosts. What are you chronoing? Oh my god. You are chronoing warp prism speed? Bold use of chrono there, Dave. Oh. So I hate Void Race. I hate it. It's 11:30 into the game. What the fuck are you? A single Void, whatever. I don't like it, but you can clear out some Overlords. You know that I have one right outside of your third and your natural. But Oracles, Dave. Oracles. You still don't know that I'm going Lurkers, but you should probably assume that. And you can't rely on Observers. You just can't. Every fucking Platinum League Zerg knows to just make 4 or 5 Overseers and snipe the Observers. You need Revelation. So you're going triple Stargate. So we're both maxed out, right? Now you finally know that I have Lurker Tech. What do you have? Bunch of Charge Lots and Stalkers. Like, you're so Gateway heavy here. Guess what sucks versus Lurkers? Gateway Tech. You do have 3 Disruptors, and that's huge because it only takes 2 Disruptor Balls to kill any amount of Lurkers in that Disruptor area. But look at this. Dave, you're out of position, and I know that. So I'm going to siege my Lurkers, a couple back here so that you can't flank me, a couple up here. I know that you are too far out of position to defend this. If you commit to this fight, I win. And I know that. That's why I'm just pressuring you back and forth. I'm taking that Nexus whether you want me to or not. The question is, do you want me to take your army with it? Now, you do the right thing. You do back up. You try and poke me back. I respect it, but you know it's not going to work. Oh my god, I sniped your prism. You know you're out of position. So I'm taking this. You back up. Smart move. Like, you're not defending this. You cancel everything. You didn't lose that much by just losing a flank Nexus. Really, it's not that big of a deal. So, smart play. But here's the issue that I have. This is the first reoccurring thing that you do over and over and over and over again. I don't have the right replay interface on, so I can't see your hotkeys. I would love to see them because something tells me you don't have many of them. You F2 like crazy, Dave. Come on. Look at this. So I'm backing up. I thought successful attack. Snipe the 5th, you know? I'm ready to go back home. You A-move your entire army going, well, fuck him. I gotta do some counter damage. Don't blame you, but not the entire army. Look at this. My creep's so far out, I can see this is where you're at. Look at where my army's at. I have 2 choices. I can now go and punish your 4th because you were so out of position, or I can go home and defend. But let's watch it from your point of view and see what happens, because you've got nothing at home to defend. So you're clearing down the rocks, which only helps me. Rocks are actually a pretty good thing to have when you're playing against a Zerg player. You want to create choke points. You don't want to open the floodgates, right? You don't want to let me to swarm from every angle. Rocks are kind of your friend in this matchup. But I thank you for clearing them. So you're way out of position with your entire army. So I know that, here, I'll back it up. I know that you can only come from so many angles. So what do? I'm going to burrow a couple Lurkers here so you can't flank me. I'm going to burrow Lurkers here. That way you can come at me from here and face all my Lurkers. or you can somehow try and wrap all the way around, but there's going to be way too late. So I've created a choke point. You can't flank me, you can't come in. Because your army is all over here doing fuck all, I now get to take your fort. It's too late, Dave. It's too late. So you've got one of two choices from here. You can go across the map like you're about to do and try and quote unquote base trade. But look at where my army's at and look at where yours is at. My army, it's in your base. Your army is closer to your base than it is to mine. Do you think that's the greatest idea to base trade? You do have a great spell, though, on the Nexus called Recall. I would highly suggest getting into the habit of it, because it's up. You don't have to recall your entire army, even though it seems like you like to use everything at once. But you could... what are Stalkers doing for you in this army? Fucking nothing. You got 11 of them. You know I'm not going mutas. I don't even have a Spire down, I don't think. No, I don't. So Stalkers are, like, hands down one of the worst units versus Lurkers. Like, second only maybe to Sentries. So recall the chunk of your army. The Disruptors, the Immortals, the Colossi, Void Rays. Fuck the Zealots. Fuck the Stalkers. Just send them across. Try and get some damage. Split my attention a bit, but you need to recall. You are not in a position to base trade. You're just not. So you're lucky that I'm smurfing, because I could have ended the game right there. But I thought, no. I don't want to end the game, because when I smurf, I don't like to end the game. I like to drag it out as long as I can, because I'm having fun. And I give the game away again. I'm not that big of a dick, but I truthfully just want to drag the game out. So I come back. You shut out all your disruptor balls, which is something, again, we've talked about. And you connected with fuck all. You do get a couple solid disruptor shots this game, but, like, you don't... You see, that was a great shot, but you're just not, you don't grasp the concept of the disruptor. You have to stagger the shots. You have to stagger the shots, Dave. So you just have no fear, man. I split up some roaches. I picked off the rest of that, and you are still refusing to split your army, even in the slightest. Everything must stay together. We are stronger when we are combined. I get that. But that's just not how you play this matchup, man. It's not how you play any matchup. You're gonna have to get used to splitting up some of your army. So, this entire game, I've killed 26 probes, you've killed 2 drones. Because it is 15 minutes in the game, and you still haven't scouted me. You see that I have a lair. You don't even know if I have hive. You have no idea what I'm going for. You fear nothing, Dave. I admire that. No fear. Okay, I'm going to back up because I was going way too fast for that. So, where's your army, Dave? You're out here trying to clear some creep. With everything, mind you, because God forbid you send a couple observer, like an observer and a couple void rays or stalkers. These fucking stalkers, they're pissing me off. Like, they're not... Trade them out. Just fucking aim them across the map. Maybe you kill a drone or two. Like, fuck. But you're out of position, Dave. So now I get to punish you again. Now I've got lurkers here. And I'm going to take out your third and your natural. I'm going to get all this big tech, right? I'm going to get your cyber core. I'm going to get your robo. I'm going to snipe a colossi for free. Yoink. Meanwhile, you're just now deciding to base trade again. Your army is a decent chunk away from my base. I've got time. I can reproduce. I can turn around. I can do a lot of things. My army is knocking on your front door. Not even knocking. It has kicked the door down, and it is already saying, surprise, motherfucker, and it's taking your shit. And you go, okay, well, I guess it's time to base trade. You're a little late. Too little, too late, man. You're in this position because you're just incapable of splitting your army. That's just it. So I really put little to no effort into this. And again, that's not me trying to shit on you. That's not me trying to brag. It's just the reality of the situation. I'm smurfing. I'm just having fun. So here's what happens. I'm going to let you take all this tech. I really don't care. I can rebuild it. I've got your main. I've got everything. All of your tech's gone. And here's where I'm going to speed it up just for the sake of speed. So we get into a base trade. Oh my god, 8x is just really fucks things up. We get into a base trade. I know, I put this there, by the way, just as a failsafe. I already knew this was going to base trade. I knew I didn't need it, but I just thought, let's just err on the side of caution. Because all it takes is, if you got a couple of good disruptor shots, you know, at least it's something, right? So I know, because of my creep spread, that you've got nothing anywhere. This is your base, right? So the only thing I have to do is not die to a couple disruptor shots. If I force my way down this ramp, there's a good chance I'm going to die. And if I lose my army right now, I'm dead. But if I keep my army alive and just slowly start to rebuild, because I have the map. You've got one base, man. You are stuck there. You have to defend that shit. You can't move. But I can. So I know all I have to do is just keep poking you. You do get some solid disruptor shots, but at the same time, you really overextend a lot. Like, you gotta start control groups, man. You gotta put some units in some control groups. You gotta separate them. Keep them separated. Listen to the offspring. So these carriers are actually the worst thing for you. And I went so far into depth in the last video. I wish my audio wasn't so fucked up. But you've got 2 carriers, Dave. You've got no economy. You do have a little bit of a bank, but like, you got 1 base, and I've got the fucking map. 2 carriers is not enough to really do anything. And each interceptor costs 5 minerals. So I don't want to kill your carriers. I made no effort to kill your carriers this entire game. I just kept giggling and sniping the interceptors because I know that your bank's not huge and you've got very little income coming in. This is just free money I am taking out of your pockets to rebuild interceptors that will virtually never do anything. I'm not saying kill the carriers, but until you can get a better army up, I would park them over here so you're not wasting all of your money. They're just not doing anything but costing you resources. So I'm sure you know this by now, but I'm going to say it again because you are so bad at it this entire game. Storms do not stack. I'm not aware of any spell that stacks. So you're probably just panicking. I get it. But like, look at this. Look how much chaos these changelings cause. First off, I'm sure you know this, but I have to say it anyway. Right click on a changeling to kill it. Why? Because if it's a real zealot, nothing happens. If it's a changeling, it'll die. You don't want to accidentally kill one of your own units, especially in a tense situation like this. Look how much chaos. They're on hold position. So you try and kill a couple. When you finally kill just enough to get through, which you did here, I still am body blocking so much surface area. And now you're trying to retreat, but my changelings are stopping you from retreating safely. So you actually lose a bunch of units to these lurkers because you can't get out in time. Dave. Now, as I mentioned, I'm sure a lesser opponent, a greater opponent, anyone at this point, including myself if I was in your shoes, would have tapped out by now. But not Dave. Dave fights till the bitter end. Oh, he fears nothing, and he learned nothing. That was a solid shot, by the way. I love the fact you had a sentry with full energy and didn't do anything with it. Like, literally nothing. No force fields, no guardian shield, no hallucination. Hallucination's great in that situation. You can hallucinate a colossi. They've got a good health pool and just send it up there so the lurkers just, so it tanks the lurker damage. I only have, like, what, 2 or 3 lurkers at this point? 2 lurkers. Yeah, like, come on, Dave. Come on. These are great. So, I can pretty much speed up the rest of it. I want you guys to know that I did give him the win. I'm not that big of a dick. I'm really not. And again, seriously, congratulations. He's casting his first ESL Open Cup. That's huge. I'll fast forward the rest of this at like a 2 or 3x speed, like nothing crazy. I played with my food. I let him go from here to here to here to here. And then what did I do? I sniped this one and took this base. Sniped this one and like, I'm playing with my food, Dave. And I think you know that. I'm slowly just rebuilding my tech, and I'm going to take every base. Like, I even retook your main with like 400 minerals. Barely worth hatchery. This is your point of view. I'm constantly just sniping these interceptors, which is awesome because, like, I've sniped 53 interceptors so far that have done absolutely nothing. Dave. We got ourselves into this position because we couldn't just send a Void Ray over here. I've got nothing to defend. Absolutely nothing. I can't go all the way around. It'll take too long. I can't force my way through here because you got cannons and shit, and I've got a limited amount of units. You could have just sent a single Void Ray, and I would have given it to you because I'm not in position. But instead, you took your entire army to do the job of one unit. And because of that, now I get to push you. And this happens time and time again. I back up because I don't need to lose anything. More interceptors, more money. Now, what do? You're about to send all of your units. Okay, first off, I saw that. You attacked your own nexus with your carrier. Smart, Dave. You didn't learn your lesson the first time. So now you think, well, I got to clear the creep and I got to get this other base going. So let's start doing that. Gonna F2 A move. Or you will, at least in a second, I'm sure. There we go. Gotta kill this. Did snipe some Hydras, bad pathing. But now I just get to come in and I get to snipe your only goddamn mining base. I just back up. I don't need to lose anything. More interceptors. How many is that? We're up to 73 interceptors. That's free money. Oh, Dave. I admire it, man. You fought to the bitter end, but like I am just playing with my food. Wanna know what happened, Dave? Yeah, dude. You got caught out of position again. Happens to you a lot. But now I get to take your tech. And that's the game, Dave. I don't know what else to say. I so desperately wanted to knurl one of your disruptors and blow up your entire army, but I will give you credit. While you're not great at using disruptors, you were great at keeping them really fucking far back, and you were great at making like 8 observers like a goddamn easy AI. So it was next to impossible. The one time I did get a disruptor knurled, I think I hit like 1 unit because all of your units were so far away at that point. So that was my plan, but I also know that you've got little to nothing, so infestors are just only going to gain value, because anytime I can fungal a unit, even if I can pick off 1 unit, that's a unit you're likely not getting back. So I'm a little concerned. I didn't know this was a thing. Lurkers apparently can't shoot through this wall. It's very weird, but whatever. Free interceptors. I mean, I'm just letting this play out because I might as well. There's nothing I can say at this point. I could throw away my entire army and just keep remaxing. I've got the entire map. Like, this is you've got 2 bases right now. I've got literally pretty much every other one. Like, and I just keep taking them. How many interceptors have I killed at this point? 102. Look how many minerals you have, Dave. 102. I can't do math, so 102 times 5. That's 510 minerals I've taken away from you that have done absolutely nothing. And in a scrappy game like this, those 510 minerals mean a lot. You finally learned how to split up a couple units. Unfortunately, it's 30 minutes into the game and you've lost. I'm proud of you, man. You're a caster, Dave. You know that that's off. You know it's off. I'm putting you under very little pressure, man. You know there's a couple lurkers here, but like I'm not committing to a fight, and you know that. I haven't pressured you at all outside of just slowly leapfrogging my lurkers a little bit forward. You had time to realize, hey, that's off. All good though. But yeah, I'm just gonna let this run because I think there's like 5 or 6 more minutes left. I tried to knurl one of your High Templar and Storm, but of course, which one do I fucking knurl? The one that you literally just stormed with? And it had 50 energy. Like, got it, and the second I got it, you fucking stormed. So, that was a bust. But yeah, obviously I'm playing with my food. I'm allowing you to take these bases because I don't want the game to end. I'm having too much fun. Look at my bank. To 106 interceptor kills. 11. I mean, we can pretty much stop it here so I can keep the video under an hour. But I think the game goes on for like another 20 minutes, honestly. It's back and forth. I let him take as much as he wants. I end up with a bank of like 30k gas and like 50k minerals. Like it's a lot. Dang. First off, next time we talk, we're going to go over some build orders. I'm going to talk about how you execute them, how you do them, how you execute the attack, because you did none of that. Second off, we're going to unbind F2 from you, because that's what got you into the trouble so many times. You just could not unit split at all. 3, we're going to talk about scouting, some map vision, understanding what's going on, because you feared nothing, and you got away with it. You're lucky you got away with it. But my man, great ideas, terrible execution. And that's not me shitting on you, man. I'm truly just trying to help. I had so much fun during this game, and I feel like a dick. But, you know, I had a blast, and I hope you did too, man. So hopefully this helped you a little bit, and hopefully, at least if nothing else, you just had fun going over this again. Take care, and until the next one.